Yeah, guys. So that's a while back to do a Kevin review, and I completely forgot. Sorry about that. So let's get started on Kevin. So he's currently actually part of the Rainbow meta, just because he actually has some great control in backline and a pretty powerful active. So if we look at his stats, we're going to see that he's a Technic-based player, and his second stat is power. So that basically means he has good reflex and good dribble, who's not bad for a backliner. That just means that he'll be able to steal, and if he doesn't steal, he's also able to just kill, who's pretty cool. Stat-wise, it's fairly basic. So let's look at the ace, increased critical rate and critical resistance. Just don't use that, guys. Just never do. Active, now this, on the opposite hand, always use that. So this should always be maxed out. Decrease the enemy team's action speed for 15 minutes by 40%. That's like a nightmare, especially for me who runs a Vanchi. The action bar in the position always starts at 20%. This has insanely strong synergy with backline that has a healer that heals on movement, like Shu, Galf, even Virgil. Maybe not the best thing with that line, but still would take great advantage of this. And this is also one of the reasons why he's actually being used in a lot of COT matches in front line. Decrease the defense by 40% and critical rate by 25% of you within the position. It's a pretty decent debuff for the frontline COT comps, and for regular game, I mean, defense just means you'll hit harder, but the crit rate is really the cool part. The thing is, usually lines running Kevin are not really crit rate based, so it's not as important. Strategic superiority 2, decrease the inflicted damage within the position by 20%. Now that's just a really nice line buff. It's basic, it's clear, but it works. Chain wise, this is bad. This is very bad. Possibly could activate. I'm guessing if you're facing Mono Wormon or some Rainbows, actually, yeah, there's a chance. And you could also be running him on the same line if you're running a Rainbow back. So Rival Chain's actually not bad, and Affection is also bad. So pretty much the Rival is the only one you'll ever see. Now let's go on to Stones. Now there are different ways to build him, of course. If you're trying to run something different, there's a lot of alternatives, but most of the time what we're usually going to see him running is something like EMB, Red Reflex, Light DR, and another Red Reflex. Or you could alternate the reflexes and the DR. That also works depending if you want Spirit or Critical Resistance. So the idea usually is you put him facing the striker, he gets shot at, he basically survives by an inch of a hair, he gets the ball, he uses his active and then just passes it away and people start killing other people. That's kind of the idea, and the decreased damage and the action bar start is going to allow the healer on movement to basically revive him to use the active. So combining those is very powerful. The minute he uses the active, it's going to have a great impact on the game, and it's not even that expensive. It's only 1.5 bars. Now, different ways to be using him in backline, different comps. The most standard one for him is always going to be the good old Rainbow Angela comp, which is usually going to be Kevin, Galf, Duran, and then whatever player you want. Magnus works usually pretty good. And then you put the goalkeeper. That can also be changed now to Glade. It would also work as well, maybe even a bit better. So there's no real limitation on that aspect. In Mono Ardor, he's a must-have. And in Rainbow, he's also pretty damn powerful. Now, just to point out for COT, even if you go look at a great player from the forums called Vassallo, he was showing how he was clearing 5-5 by using him in front line. Once again, showing how he should be used when you're doing COT. And the idea is basically to abuse the action bar start, use the active, give him EMB to increase the damage, using the decreased defense to do even more damage, and lowering the crit rate to steal the ball faster, plus the DR helps on when stealing. So again, he really has many uses when you're doing it in manual, but an automatic backline will honestly just be the best idea. You do want to be careful because he has the leader type, so he will sometimes suicide, but not as bad as certain players, so it's not that bad either. Piercing ring immunity, that doesn't mean anything anymore because we can switch them. I gotta say, I do love his skin, so if you have him, try get that skin. It does look super swaggy. If you have any questions, comments about him, just leave in the description below. And again, sorry I completely forgot about this review. See you guys.